There are no bottles in front of me. Whiskey, today's fact. I thought today we'd just take a look at what is the oldest working distillery in Scotland. And so I'm curious if the crew has any guesses. Kevin?
I have no idea.
Malcolm?
Glen Grant.
Glenn Grant. Scott?
Totally stumped.
Totally stumped. Lemonade?
Glenlivet.
Glenlivet. G-Man?
McAllen?
McAllen. Derek?
Glenfiddich?
Glenfiddich. Okay, well, let's see if they were right. Wrong! It's Glenturret. At the time of the earliest documentation that's been found, it operated under the name Turrat. This document is dated 1763, and there is history of illicit distillation dating back to 1717 on the site. Now, Little Mill and Strathila dispute the title of oldest, but that's a story for another day. In 1814, Turrat was sold to its new owner, Thomas McInnes, and it was rebranded the Hosh Distillery. It remained under that name until 1873, when it became Glenturret. Now, why Glenturret? Well, as we have learned in this series, the Scottish can be extremely clever in their naming of spaces, places, and things. Glenturret is no exception to this. Since 1825, Glenturret has drawn its water from the nearby Loch Turret, as well as its peat from the water's edge. Below the loch, the Turret Burn, which is a small river, continues past the Glenturret Distillery. In Latin, Glenturret is Torreglen, land of the rushing stream. And a rushing stream it is, at times. In 1828, the rains led to a torrent of water that disabled the distillery and washed the whiskey downstream. Which reminds me of a song by Charlie Poole. If the river was whiskey and I was a duck, I'd dive to the bottom and I'd never come up. Whiskey production and growth continued at Glenturret until 1923, when production stopped and the operation was mothballed. But they had 96,000 gallons of spirit maturing in casks that was well looked after for the future. Finally, in 1957, Glenturret reopened, and they did so under new ownership who were committed to the old ways, and they preserved the traditional methods and refurbished the original equipment and began production again. And now, Glenturret is owned by Lalique, the French lifestyle company known for their exquisite glasswork, and they partner with Glenturret to create some historic bottlings, some of which are 50-year-old releases in exceptional bottles. Fun fact, in 2014, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, William and Kate, he's next in line to be the future king, visited Glenturret and hand-filled and signed a bottle that is currently in storage at the distillery, awaiting a future auction for charitable purposes. And currently, we don't have any Glenturret on hand. And now we're on a mission. But all we have is this. And that's whiskey, today's fact, the water of life.